I built a fully 3D printed suitcase with a whole bunch of extra features that make traveling a little bit more enjoyable, so let me show you exactly how I built it. I started things out by grabbing a suitcase I already had in the studio so that I could get some exact measurements of how big a carry-on suitcase should be. I created a 3D model on my computer that was modular so that each part could be printed individually. And before I got too ahead of myself, I grabbed some scrap filament I had to print out a test version of just the basic shell to make sure everything was working how I wanted. For every section, I designed these chamfered edges and a reverse chamfered edge on the opposite side so that they would easily line up and have an overlapping seam. On top of that, there's holes for alignment pins so they perfectly snap together. With the first pieces looking good, I now just had to get all the different segments lined up together and screw on the hinges, and we had basically a working suitcase. I was really loving the color block look to it, and it was just around the same size as that other carry-on suitcase I had. But now it's time to start working on all those different features that the suitcase had, so I went around my studio trying to find all the spare parts I was gonna need. The best part about the modular sections is that I could design the features and then figure out exactly where they would go on the suitcase and then go back to my computer and just redesign that one section. It was pretty much rinse and repeat, figuring out what all the features were gonna be and where they were gonna live on the suitcase until I had the final design all in one piece. I got all the final pieces re-3D printed, and this time around I'm using metal pins for a little bit more stability, and then I glued and clamped every piece together so that it was super strong. Everything was quickly coming together, and I had the most souped up suitcase known to man. The first thing I added was this flip up table that easily collapsed when you push these two buttons. Then we've got this phone mount that locks into place so that you can easily watch movies while you're in the terminal. On the other side, if you unscrew this lid, you now have a little glass jar to hide some snacks because you always need some snacks when traveling. On the side here, we have this fold down arm for your coffee, and it acts as a gyroscope to try to keep your coffee level when you're running across the terminal. You can also unscrew the feet, and this is where you can hide an Apple AirTag so only you know where it is. Let me know what features you would want to see added to this 3D printed suitcase.